Welcome to Business Insights. Today we'll be speaking with a couple of different students from a variety of different programs. We'll be speaking with two of my coworkers, Sam and JP, who both work at Spark, which is a student enterprise in St. Lawrence College. And we'll also be talking with Isabel, who is an employee at the Innovation Hub. So all of the guests that we'll be having today are all students at St. Lawrence College, and they will be sharing their experiences and their programs and how they deal with managing school, work, and life. And for context, I am your host today. My name is Julia Raymond, and I am a marketing coordinator at Spark.
Spark is a creative communications agency where different students from different programs are given the opportunity to come together to create projects for real clients in the community. Right next to Spark is the Innovation Hub, where community members come together. Students and entrepreneurs often use this space to brainstorm and come up with their next big idea for their projects. To kick off the conversation about balancing work, school, and life, I'll start by sharing some of the ways that I keep myself organized. Personally, I keep myself on track using project management software like Monday.com and Asana. This software is helpful for me because it allows me to categorize different tasks that I have to complete, such as school and work, and you can also create sub-items, so if you have a task, you can break up all of the steps within that task. One of the biggest challenges I face during my work is often perfectionism. I will spend too long on the little details, and sometimes that can cause me to miss out on the bigger picture of certain projects, or just waste a lot of time on something that may not be as important as I think. Another thing I struggle with sometimes is letting work and school projects take me away from other aspects of life that I enjoy. For example, I am quite interested in art and painting specifically, but that's something that I haven't done in quite a while because of the amount of projects and school assignments to hand in. However, I also try to find ways to be creative, say in my marketing campaigns or other projects. But it really is important to remember to set that time aside to work on things that you enjoy doing, or maybe even not work at all for a little while. One thing that I've been considering lately is how we prioritize things. I've been trying to look at all of the things that I have to do and think what really matters most to me. For example, some projects are worth more than others, so some may require more effort than others. And sometimes we just need to rest, and we shouldn't forget that that's something that should be prioritized as well. Next, let's hear how our guests maintain balance in their lives. Our first guest is Sam, who's a graphic designer at Spark. Hi Sam, how are you?
Good, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, thanks. So Sam, how do you balance schoolwork, projects, and personal life?
The biggest thing that I try to focus on when balancing school and work projects is to keep them separate. So I have specific times that I work on schoolwork and specific times that I work on professional work, and I try not to overlap them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I guess if you do overlap them, sometimes you're left with less time for yourself, which isn't what we want.
Exactly.
Another question we have for you is, what has been the most difficult part of trying to balance all of these responsibilities?
The most difficult part of balancing all of this is that there can just feel like too much work sometimes. There's a lot of schoolwork compared to professional work, so it feels like a lot. And the easiest way to deal with this, I find, is tried and true time management techniques like the Pomodoro and stuff.
So what is Pomodoro?
Pomodoro is a technique where you focus really hard for about 20 minutes to a half an hour, and every time that half an hour or whatever is up, you take a 3 to 5 minute break. And you stick to the schedule for the whole time of studying, and it allows you to focus a lot better during that half an hour where you're really trying.
That seems like it would be helpful, and it would allow you to just stay on track while also still keeping breaks in there. So since you're a graphic design student at St. Lawrence College and you're also the graphic designer at Spark, what kind of overlap have there been between school and work for you?
Well, I've been able to use a lot of what I've learned at Spark But right now we're working on client branding projects, which is giving us a lot of experience in building client relationships, which I'm then able to take back to school and improve my schoolwork.
That's great. That's something personally I found has been really helpful as well. Since that Spark is located in the college, it's nice that there's some overlap in the topics that we're studying and also just convenience of being in the same location. Sam, thank you so much for offering these insights. We really appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Our next guest is JP, who is one of our other marketing coordinators at Spark.
Hi JP, how are you?
Good. How about you, Julia?
Pretty good, thanks. It's very difficult to manage school deadlines, work projects, and personal life. So I'm curious, how do you organize your time between all of this?
I try my best to remember things. I put everything on my calendar. That's the first thing that I usually do, especially if I'm juggling between, I think, 3 schedules right now. So I have a class of Spark Shift and another work outside Spark. So I try to manage those 3. So yeah, putting it in my calendar as early as possible, a few weeks ahead of time, really helps me organize and see potential gaps if there is something that I might not be able to do within the time frame.
Yeah, that is a lot to juggle. It makes sense that you definitely want to have everything written down somewhere to remember. Another question we have for you is, what have been the biggest challenges and how do you overcome them in balancing everything?
I think just being able to find time for me to recharge is one thing that I've been trying to do for the last couple of weeks. Though in a way, I mean, you can't really control the demands of the job and also the demands of schoolwork, especially if you're trying to manage or do group works and stuff like that. I think since I'm juggling 3 different schedules at the same time or in a week, I still try to find, and the biggest challenge that I have right now would be finding time for myself, like a time wherein I can be alone and just focus and recharge. And how I do it is basically just finding a day in a week, maybe a good 6 to 8 hours wherein I just do anything that I want that makes me happy, like me being able to read a book or play my games or just casually watch my favorite animes. So that is a big challenge for me, but again, I put it in every week that I find a day or at least 6 to 8 hours of doing whatever I want that makes me happy.
That's great. It's definitely hard to find the time to just do the things that we like sometimes, but we're not machines, so it's definitely needed to take a break.
I wasn't able. There was a week wherein I did not schedule a me time, and after that week I was just so burnt out that I just gave up on everything that I was trying to do that week. So it really helps to find time and relax a little.
For sure. The last question that we have for you is, can you share a marketing project that you've been working on at Spark and how it relates to what you're learning in school?
One thing that to note would be the project that we had for KEDCO, so the Kingston Economic Development. We were tasked to create content for, I think, 12 different companies or individuals, focusing on the health innovation sector. In terms of how it relates to the course that I've been doing, we've been doing like content creation, any types of content in my previous course, which is digital marketing communications, and we talked a lot about that, and I was able to apply a couple of those in talking to them and creating or crafting the messages that we want to do, especially for the formats that they're asking, because there's 2 parts to it, so social media posts and a video content, and a lot of the stuff that we talk about in school was basically what they're asking for. And yeah, it was fun because we were able to talk to different companies, different individuals, learn a lot of stuff as well, and at the same time apply and understand why our teachers are talking about it in those classes.
Yeah, that seems like it would be helpful that there is some overlap between both school and work. It makes your life a little bit easier because you can kind of take some of the insights and apply that into real world projects when they come along. One extra question. if you had one piece of advice, what would you say to students who are trying to prevent burnout?
Again, similar to what I shared earlier, even things will be busy. That will be a big part of your everyday life if you're trying to do work and you're trying to do school. And on top of school, you have like group projects wherein you deal with different schedules from your different group mates. Main thing is if you can find time for yourself, 6 to 8 hours or a day, or at least 4 hours, that you just have to like sit down, relax, and think about things or do things that makes you happy. That is my main thing that I will be suggesting. It really helps in the overall productivity and also your well-being. I'm not sure if there's like work-life balance, but try to put life in your week as well. So for me, it's like 6 to 8 hours or a day. That would be enough for me to reset and do the things that I should be doing with the same energy as I would have in each day.
That's great advice. Thanks, JP. It was great talking with you.
No problemo.
Our last guest is Isabel, who works at the Innovation Hub as a project and event coordinator. She also occasionally volunteers with the NACTIS, which is a global organization that provides curricular innovations, student team support, and funding for a variety of projects.
Hi, Isabel.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
So you are the project and event coordinator at the Innovation Hub, and you're also a business student at SLC. Today we're talking about how difficult it can be to manage school, work, and life, and we're curious to know, how do you organize your time between all of this?
Oh, well, good question. Like for me, it's really important to have an agenda. Like I prefer like to write down all the activities that I have to do during the day or the week, and I try to prioritize, for example, my assignments at school, but also if I have a deadline at work, I also prioritize my time there. And when I'm working or studying, I try to focus so much in the activity that I'm doing, like to do like my best and to finish on time. And if I don't have time, for example, to deal with an assignment, and if it's a group assignment, I can delegate some activities with my team. And I think like it's good to have a good support in the team that you have when you are doing an assignment here at the school.
Yeah, with so many tasks, it's definitely useful to be able to prioritize and also delegate some things, because it's a lot to handle for sure. Yeah. Another question for you is, what have been some of the biggest challenges in the process of juggling all of this?
Well, my first program at St. Lawrence College was project management, and when I did my capstone, I had to reach out different organizations here in Kingston. As a newcomer, it was really difficult for me to get in engagement with them. I tried to connect with some organizations to develop a project for the community, but at the end it didn't work out. So I did a project with St. Lawrence College, and I think like the result that we created, the project management club, was wonderful. I think like sometimes you will find some doors closed, but at the end, like if you want to do something for the community, as was my case, you can do a good job.
Yeah, JP and I definitely resonate with you in the sense that sometimes when you're working with community members or just other group members even, it can be difficult to get in contact with them or make sure things go as planned. So definitely a hurdle, but
yeah, I know.
Another question for you. Can you share a business project that you've been working on in class and have you seen any overlap with your job in event management?
Yeah, of course. Well, right now I am taking the IBM program. So in the last semester, we are doing a business plan for any business. Like it could be like business that is running right now. So for example, I'm doing the business plan for my switchboard. That is a platform that Enactus has developed, and for me, it is a challenge. We have to finish this business plan by December, but I think like with all the work that I have to do as project and event coordinator, and also my classes and assignments, we are trying, because this is a group assignment, we are trying to balance between all the things that we have to do. So we are working every week, like we did like a list of the activities that we have to do on that week, and we are trying to do our best. Also, we have a wonderful coordinator, so she's always there if we have any questions. But yeah, this couple of months has been really hard for us, but we are just focused on that the business plan will help my switchboard to be a better platform to all the people that want to find resources in Kingston. So sometimes I think like we have to focus, we have to find motivation to keep doing things, and as students, like all the things that we are learning will help us in the future as professionals. So it's hard to find a balance, but I think on the track and with practice, we can finish all the things that we have to do.
Yeah. Speaking of finding balance, what would you say is your one piece of advice for people who are looking to manage stress while working and doing school projects?
Well, I think that first they have to organize, but also I think that they can find a lot of breath exercises online, and also there are a lot of apps that they can help you. And don't feel like bad if you don't get like the grade that you were like looking for, or you like don't like complete the assignment as perfect as you want, because like we are learning, we are students, and also as professionals in the future you are gonna keep learning. So it's like a process without ending, I think. So just like do your best, and also teachers and the professor here at St. Lawrence, they are a good support. So if you are struggling with that, you can talk with someone, with a friend, and they can also have some tips to share with you. And don't forget to do exercises. I think like just walk for 20 minutes or just like be at the park and spend some time with friends is really like a good way to exercise and relax, like to think about another things, not about assignments or school.
Yeah, that's really useful advice, I would say. Mistakes are often inevitable, but they do help us to see where we went wrong and improve for the next time. Thank you so much for the time, and we appreciate hearing all of the advice you've shared.
No, don't worry. Thank you to you.
Well, that was a great conversation. I feel like it's easy to see that a lot of students struggle with the same things. Most of us are juggling work and school and our personal lives. On the other hand, we also have similar ways of coping with these issues. Although everyone does things differently, it's clear to see that taking time to relax and recharge is crucial when juggling so many different responsibilities. Thank you for listening. We hope that some of the advice has helped you, and if it has, leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts.